It's Wednesday, my crew. How's it going? A little bit of game dev here. Get things going. This song is ridiculous. Very silly. All right, let's get everything spun up here. I don't know what we're gonna work on today. We did the auto tiler yesterday with all the corner case stuff. I thought it was gonna take forever. Partly because the current case is trivial. There's no real reason to go into more detail on it, so we're gonna call that done. I might take a second stab at what we also tried to do yesterday, which was change kind of how the buffer moves tile map data back into Godot to be absorbed by the, the relevant tile map layers. Hey, Amanda. Is it time to be productive? We'll see. We'll see. We're here. And that's half the battle. All right, what do I want to do? I mean, I kind of want to try to understand why this doesn't work. This thing I added at the end. For some reason, when we use a buffer, the data is not getting packed correctly. When we use one of my buffer structures. But when we just use a new array, it just kind of works. So I want to understand that. I might spend a few minutes just seeing if we can coax that into cooperating here. How's everyone doing today? Oh, I got a nice cup of tea here. It's very nice. Very soothing. So we don't need to do this as span thing. What we do need to do is we need to say span. Set buffer component, tilemap data buffer short, pack tilemap data count. Count equals index. Yeah, I don't know. As far as I could tell, changing the data structure shouldn't have any impact, but obviously it does. So let's take a look at the set buffer component function. Hey, Rhiannon Journey. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. We do use this, so it's not like this function is wrong. We use this system for... use this for a couple things. Settled blocks, preview blocks. Yeah, we use it whenever we're changing. We're setting the buffers. Excuse me. So we pass in this length. Buffer length is whatever the current buffer length is. If the current buffer length is the same, don't worry about it. If the buffer length is bigger, we take a slice of the memory. If the buffer is smaller, is it possible? What happens if it's 0 and we try to allocate the memory to 0? No, I guess it wouldn't matter. We would just take a slice of meaningless size. Buffer length is less than length. Allocate length times unsafe dot size of 2. Memory owner byte. Allocate length times unsafe size. Yeah, no, that's right. It's going pretty good. Work's been quiet today. You've been able to focus. Nice, nice. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this wouldn't work. I mean, it doesn't. I'm going to launch it and it's going to complain a lot. But it's rendering. So that's interesting. Huh. It's misbehaving for sure. And it's misbehaving in some interesting ways. Oh, you know what? Well, I don't know. There might be... We might need to allocate this differently. We might need to say allocate and clear. That's not great, but that's probably what we should be doing. Allocation mode. That won't help us because we'll have the same problem. So I think the problem has to do with the fact that when we are resizing the buffer, well, we're not clearing the buffer, which I guess is a problem. But we can't actually do that here because we don't always allocate. Like if it's smaller, like if we need a smaller buffer than we currently have, we just slice in. So what I think I need to do then... So we either just pay the cost of reallocating all the time, or we pay the cost of iterating and setting everything back to 0. I actually don't know if that's the problem, but let's just try it. That's kind of one of the only things I can think of. Packed bit, well, we could say less than count. Let's say packed data I is 0. I don't know if that's gonna fix it, but that's my idea. Yep, that fixed it. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I like doing it that way. I especially like doing it that way in the long term. A little silly that we have to just reset it, but that's okay. Well, we understand why the buffer span was not being packed correctly. What I don't understand is this. Oh. Is there a way to make sure that we fill out all of the data? Not really, huh? Is this last pass here? I don't know why I call this the third pass. It's not really the third pass at this point. I wonder if there's a way to do this better. Probably. For now, we're just going to do this. We're just going to reset all the data. And then go through it again and set it correctly. I think the problem is the fact that we do this for each tile in tiles.values. And we fill in the data from there. So we're not actually like linearly going through. We do that for the header. We linearly go through and set all the data here. But clearly it's spotty. Weird. Weird that if we don't preemptively clear the data before refilling it, it gets into a weird state, but that's fine. We prevent a lot of reallocation of memory, so that's good. That's good. We just spend a little extra processing time clearing the data. That's okay. All right, well, that was easy. Yeah, what are we gonna do? I guess we go to the task board, huh? So if we go to our little tile block editor thing. So I think we finally did the new tile atlas format. I think it's been under review the whole time, so technically the only thing that's missing is like the corner cases. So I'm going to put the new tile format here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say under review, I'm going to add a task, and it's going to be tile corner cases, or maybe I'll say auto tile corner cases, because that's a going concern that we have. Say auto tile, or that's something we need to keep an eye on. Auto tile invalid blocks. This is something we need to do, and it's something we need to think about more because of how we've decided this should work. So we can essentially, we've decided to not support double thick walls anywhere. So if a double thick wall is detected anywhere, we need to essentially flag it as invalid. But there's a question of how do you do that? I'm thinking of using a mask. So if we like make our room or whatever, I mean, it doesn't have to be a room. If we make whatever, this is all fine. But if we then like add a second line, the question is what's invalid? I guess it's all of these. So all of these should get masked as being invalid. So I think I want to do that as an overlay. The same way that this is an overlay, the hover's an overlay, the selection is an overlay. Kind of want to do it all as an overlay. Which means that we need to evaluate the space to figure out what's invalid and what's not. Right now, it's pretty simple. We have this other one too, which is doors. So like a door can be invalid. Like you can see here because the door is red. I kind of don't want to do it this way. I kind of want to do the same thing as the blocks. I kind of want to mark the block as invalid. Like here's a door that's unsealed on top. So this door like can't exist. The other example of like an invalid door would be like if let's say we make a sealed room under here. Another example of an invalid door would be, so like the triple door is fine, but if we go to the quad door, it's busted. I kind of want to add a quad door graphic. I guess I wouldn't know how to organize the quad door graphic. But yeah, I think I want to change this to be interesting. So I'm up here, it's fine. I'm down here, it's not fine. There's a weird outline problem. So that's at the X outline. Does it happen on the other side? Yeah, it does. Okay, so there's a negative. So there's an X plus 1 outline problem. It's coming across. Interesting. So it's okay here when it's a full bulk cutaway, but when it becomes a full deck cutaway, we get that. There's a black line that you can kind of see. Let me see if I can fix that. So here we look at the X plus 1. I think it's in this branch. What if I just add this? Who says I need to comment this stuff? I know where the branches are. I'm pretty sure it's this branch, and I'm pretty sure it's this section of this branch. So I'm gonna give that a try here. See if that fixes it. Hey, bad cop, how's it going? How'd the Jern Jam go? You're not so good? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been in this kind of malaise or something, I don't know, since the weekend. I just haven't wanted to stream or work on anything, but here we are, doing it. You didn't do Jern Jam? Sorry. Wasn't that what you and Exo Drifter were doing, though? I saw Covino. That was Outfrost and Exo. Weren't you there? Were you just there for moral support? Okay, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I feel like Covino just finished Jern Jam like yesterday, and I was tuning in today, and he's like working on like the Jam Septiceye already, and I'm like, oh man, this is like relentless. All right, what was I testing? Oh yeah, I was testing this very particular issue. If I do a double wall and then I do a cutaway from below, what happens? So the line is on that side. Is the line on the other side? Nope. All right, fixed it. Easy. Easy peasy. All right, so we just need to do that to the other side. You're supposed to be starting a jam with Covino today? You just bailed? Oh no. Fair. Yeah, some little corner of my mind still wants to do Ludum Dare this weekend. But there's a much louder corner of my mind that does not want to work on anything and instead wants to spend the weekend in the park at a music festival. That part of my mind is louder. But yeah, part of me is still like, oh, come on, it'd be fun. Do a jam. Do another jam. And I'm like, no, I should not do another jam. All right, so we fixed that. Obviously, there are going to be no negative consequences for doing this. Do I want to do Jacksepticeye with you? Yeah, and Atagon's over here making like 8-track OSTs just randomly getting looped in or roped into doing these jams. Incredible. It's incredible how much one can do when one is not terminally lazy. But I have a case of terminal laziness for sure. I don't know. I'm just playing around with the cutaway here for a second. I'm trying to see if there's any consequences for my previous actions. I'm going to say no. There are never any consequences to my actions, so it's probably fine. See anything weird? What happens when I do the crazy thing where I like, oh, I can't do that anymore? I actually made that impossible to do now. Interesting. Oh, it seems to be working just fine. That's good. Hey, Barlane. How's grid? How are tiles? How fair cubes? They're fair. We just fixed a little error with the auto tiler. We've only been live for like 30 minutes. We've already fixed some bugs. So we're doing okay. We're kind of struggling to figure out what they fair. Yeah, they fair. They fair so far. Yeah, okay. So auto tiler corner cases under review. Probably will be under review for some time. New tile atlas format done. I think we're going to utilize our unified auto tiling API to make a new. So auto tile invalid blocks. I think the way we're going to handle this, I think I'm going to rename this task. I'm going to call it an invalid block tile mask. So it's like there's going to be a system that validates whether a block is okay or not. And if it's not, it marks it as that. And then we mask those tiles with like some kind of appropriately menacing color. Bad cop. You have an idea you like for the Jacksepticeye one? You don't know if you want to do it after you just dropped out of the team. Yeah, that's a little rough to drop out of the team and then be like, I only dropped out because I wanted to do this other game without you guys. That's rough. What's the theme? It's like death as an opportunity. That's an interesting theme. That's not the reason. No, I know that's not the reason you dropped out. That's just, we're talking about the optics. We want to avoid certain optics. I made a mistake. I started the stream and I'm wearing this sweatshirt and I'm overheating now. So I might deal with that real quickly. Their idea makes you uncomfortable. See, I was concerned about that with this theme. I was like listening to Covino talk and I'm like, how are you going to do this jam in a way that doesn't get you demonetized? Hey, Carol Allen. Thank you for this. Thank you for following. How am I doing today? I'm doing good. How are you? Bad cop, your idea is simple. Mushroom game. Death is an opportunity. And okay, let me tell me more. 1 second. All right. I was overheating. That was not going to be good. Now we're good. I know it doesn't look different, but you can see my arms now. I'm not wearing my big old drop shoulder sweatshirt that I love very much. Steamy stream, Bart Lane. Yes, indeed. Bad Cop, you'll tell me more. I play as a mushroom. Nice. People try to explain to me how mushrooms and like fungus kind of exist in this in-between. It exists in a way that makes it harder to define life and death for them or something like that. I don't know. I don't pay attention to these kind of things when people tell me them. But there's definitely some interesting stuff there with mushrooms and death. They eat death or death or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I'm not a mushroom expert, you know. All right, so this is our idea. Our idea is that we are going to set up a new mask that tests block validity. All right, what is involved in doing that? Where do I initialize these things? Is it the edit system? No, it's here in the game. Yeah. Okay, maybe it's time to refactor some of this and fix it. I say fix. Maybe it's time to get serious about this. The game node is our node that like connects the Godot side of things with like our secret little C# world. And right now I've just hard coded a bunch of stuff. Excuse me. I want to kind of do this a little better, maybe. I mean, I don't mind just having a list of nodes. If I set this to be an export variable, I might just set these to be export variables. Why are these private though? Oh, because I want other people to use them. How does that appear in Godot though? It's not too complicated, no. I don't know. I hear that the longer someone explains to you how funguses works, the less it makes sense. Like, there's such a bizarre branch of life compared to animals and plants and stuff. Oh, I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a gamer. I just know mushrooms make you, like, you know... I don't know, whatever they happen. They seem to do a lot of different things to Mario, depending on the context. But it sounds like they're good. I don't know. Shigeru Miyamoto taught me the mushrooms are good for you. You're reading now? Yeah, mushrooms are crazy. Yeah, I think because right now we're at least talking about the direct children of the game, default tile set Alice form. Oh, look at you. All right. Yeah, I think we're going to change these to be export variables. Maybe that helps me with my nullable problem, but maybe it doesn't. I don't think I need to property hint these. What are all the different property hints? Who knows? ChatGPT put it this horrifying way. Regarding mushrooms or fungus. They pump enzymes into dead stuff, crack it apart, Slurp up the useful bits and leave the rest as simpler compounds that other organisms can use. They're nature's recyclers. Okay, no, that sounds kind of fun. That sounds like with the death as an opportunity, you could treat that as like a resource loop or something, some kind of game loop there. That'd be cool. There's definitely some cool stuff for sure. All right, so we're just gonna presume that all of these become export variables. And if they become export variables, can I mark them as not nullable? No. Can I do this instead? I don't know why I should care about the nullability thing. It really doesn't matter. It just bothers me. I'm just kind of playing with what I can do here. What if I say required? Well, I can't do this here. Yeah, okay. I see why I got roped into doing it this way. That's fine. They'll just be export variables though. And I think I'm gonna rename them. And I think I might set up the ID system. My node ID. Oh, not that one. You think the way you do it is you just personify a mushroom? You don't have to make it a mechanic or anything too crazy? Or you could do some sort of hive mind game, because mushrooms are kind of like that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be a little grim, just making a game about a little guy that, like, eats dead stuff. But you could probably do it in a way that's pretty cute. The theme sucks. This is the best you got. Yeah, this isn't the best theme. I think it's interesting, but I think it's a really questionable choice for a content creator to make a game about death like that, or to make a theme that's death, and it's in such a way that people are like I immediately Covino on his whiteboard had like suicide just immediately written like up on the whiteboard, and I'm like, this is where everyone is going to go with this, and it is not going to be good. It's not going to be healthy, and it is not going to be safe to share on stream. Yeah, it was not thought through. That's why you don't want to make their game. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how doing that in a way that doesn't make people uncomfortable. Also, sorry, someone parked a wood chipper in front of my house like 4 hours ago, and I've been waiting for it to be turned on. I was like, maybe they'll do it soon. And then it didn't happen, and now they've just turned it on. So I'm going to start talking more loudly. I don't think you can hear the wood chipper, but I can hear it, and it's forcing me to like bring up the volume. I'm going to try to yeah, there's a game jam, Bart Lane, where the theme is death as an opportunity. It seems questionable. You didn't want to be like, screw you, pick my idea, or quit. So you just quit. No, that's fair. That's fair. There are many reasons why I do this stuff solo. Part of it is because I am a sore loser, and if I'm unsuccessful in convincing someone about something, I get very unpleasant very quickly to be around. I try to moderate that by just not caring about things. Just so I don't get that way, but when I do, it can be a no is a complete sentence. You got it, Rhiannon Journey. Bart Lane, you're confused. There's a game jam happening right now. The theme of the game jam is death is an opportunity, and that is making people uncomfortable. Game jams get the worst of you sometimes. Yeah, it's not a good one. It's a questionable theme, which is, why people always say, I don't know if the theme was voted. I got the impression that the theme for this jam was selected, Which, if that was the case, that's a bit of an oversight. I also am not basing that on anything. Exo said insurance fraud game. Okay, that's pretty good. I think you could do that in a way that doesn't piss anyone off except the Allstate guy. Bart Lane, how is this not just going to be a bunch of suicide theme games? Exactly. That is exactly what we're afraid they're all going to be. All right, so we'll call this the board. So I have this series of levels. I have the editor levels. These are the ones that belong to the editor, so I think I want to keep them there. They're kind of the only ones that exist right now. Are they the same as the elastic levels? The quote-unquote elastic levels. I think they are. Do they both reference the same underlying scene? They do not. Okay, so this one, let's just get rid of this one. Delete. Deleting that. You're the new editor levels now. We're gonna call this... I thought of a different name than hover. Mushroom games only? Yeah, that'd be interesting. I bet there will be some other stuff. I think people are going to make a lot of like either like Infinite Runner or like roguelike style games, Heaven and Hell games, Ghost games. Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of games like Meat Boy style games that are just really grisly and you're just dying over and over and over again. And they loop that into some kind of meta progression or something. I don't know. I feel like people are going to overscope a lot trying to add meta progressions to their game, to what would otherwise be a normal game to get the theme to kick in. All right, so we have our editor levels hover. I want like a different thing than hover. What do I call this elsewhere? I called it the default overlay, which is not helpful. Purgatory game could go hard. Oh, that could be cool. I don't know how, like you have to be just good enough to get into purgatory. Like you don't want to be so good you get into heaven or so bad you get into hell. You're like aiming for the middle. You're like, you got to live your life in such a way you end up in purgatory. And that's the game jam game. Hard to do a good narrative game in 4 days. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't remember the timing for that, but I think it's like the 1st to the 10th or something like that. I don't remember. That doesn't make sense to me. Is it the 1st or the 4th? Is it really just 4 days or the 5th or something? I don't remember. I tried not to look at it too much because I was being tempted. Jam Septic Eye. Pretty good name, I guess. No, not Jacksepticeye. I want the jam page. Jam Septiceye. Oh, that's not going to work. There we go. Oh, no. October 1st through October 5th. Yeah, oh, dang. Okay. Yeah, that's not long. Make mushrooms with you. What is this, bad cop? Terrorism. Can you make a horror game from the view of it? Oh my god. People are going crazy. People are going... 6,000 joined. That's a pretty big jam. It's a pretty big jam. Pretty crazy. It's really jam season, huh? We're just going crazy on game jams. All right, so I want a word for the overlay that we use It's like the mouse over. It's not select. It's like a pending overlay. It's like an overlay that you use when you're in the middle of a click, like when you're click dragging and you haven't fully gone through. It's like a, I need a word for that. I mean, hover is fine. Cave rim too, yeah. You want to do LDG jam more anyways? LDG jam. Oh, the Little Doctor game jam. Right, right. That's October 3rd through October 19th. Oh, that's a nice one. That's a nice long one. You can be nice and lazy. Yeah, Cave Rim 2. That sounds good. Sounds good. More info coming soon. Man, this jam starts in 2 days. There's no info. That's cool. That's cool. I'm being strong. I'm being strong. I'm not doing jams. In hand is not bad. It's different than select. Maybe I don't call this levels, because we know this is levels. It's child of levels. Maybe we say, like, editor blocks. And we could call this, like, we call this select blocks. Static levels. This is something that I was going to use as a... This was something I was going to use as like a input handler tool. Do we still need that? I think we do still use this. Yeah, we use this for understanding where the layer input is. For level and static levels, static layers, .append. Moving layers we don't use. Static layers. Are we actually going to want this for handling input? I think eventually the answer is going to be no. No jams. I'm trying to be good. I really do want to do more jams. I need to finish the post-jam stuff for bare necessities. I don't know. I just have no self-control. When I do a jam, I just go hard for the entire duration of the jam. Which it's good that I only do 2 or 3 day jams. Jack Mods, what are you working on? Oh, hey, Jack Mods. We're working on an FTL-like isometric 2D game. Kind of like a little starship management game. We're working on a block editor tool right now for it that will let us, you know, build the different ships. And I'm getting distracted by thinking of the perfect name for a node. But yeah, I don't think I can do the longer jams. I think I want to try like a 7-day or a 9-day jam at some point, but I don't know how to like moderate my engagement. God, I think they're turning off the wood chipper. That's stressing me out. I think I could call this provisional. Well, this is more of a mask, so maybe we just call this like I like select blocks. I could call this provisional blocks, but that's not really. Define provisional. Arranged or existing for the present, possibly to be changed later. I think that's fine. So we'll call this the provisional blocks. So we've got editor blocks, provisional blocks, select blocks. Static levels thing, I think I need to leave here temporarily. What do you refer to? Or what scene are you referencing to? The grid levels. Do we even use this for anything? Grid default T-res. No, we don't use this for anything. I really need to clean up this project. I'm really bad at doing this. I tend to add stuff rather than like remove things. I think we can get rid of this static levels object. I think it's only used for input, and I think for our purposes, pretty much anything else would work. So let's get rid of a few of these. So we're going to say provis. What did I say? Select. Oh, we already have that one. What do we need the palette for? Might call those brushes. Maybe not. I don't know if I like provis, but it's fine. Sweep it up. Yeah, Bart Lane. Yeah, I don't feel like being terribly productive, so I'm kind of getting around it by just not doing very much. Levels, we do need to keep an eye on that one. Right. Export. Well, let's do it this way. Let's do it. Forget alphabetical. Let's do it in the order that they're nested. Levels. I think we don't want the static levels node anymore. I think we can just rewrite it to work off of the editor blocks. I'm just call this block layers. don't know why these are on ready. This should probably be an export variable. Well, no, the camera 2D thing can be on ready. I realize I don't like doing it with these hard-coded references if I can avoid it. Do it just like this. For each level and block levels. Block layers. I think this is pretty easy. I don't think this is a huge change. Oh, we're panning these up or down. That's fine. Block levels. I guess we have to do this for all of them. Okay. Well, I guess I want to call this something different then. Looks like we're remodeling the house. Yeah, we're messing with we're fixing some stuff in the scene tree with some nodes that I need to fix this stuff. I need to decide how I want to organize the actual game board. How's it going, Arneo? Sorry if you're stuck in ads. This is kind of what I do when I don't want to be productive. I kind of just fiddle around and clean stuff up. So why do we need 3 sets of these? Well, we need them because we need a different level. We need a whole set of these for each kind of layer stuff that we have. So maybe what we should do is we have the levels field, and then maybe we should have like an overlays. The levels is good because that's like everything on a level. I don't know if I want the overlays to be on a separate thing, but maybe we could say stuff. I just can't think of a word for this action, which I can't show it because I've broken everything, but it's like we click drag and we highlight an area. Because that area is like under the drag. But as soon as we let go of the mouse, that area goes away and gets replaced with the select overlay, which is a different overlay. So I said provis, which I would like to use a whole word. I don't like to use shortened words. But I also like all my variables to be like the same length. My neuroses are showing right now. RMM. You're new to Godot. You wanted to ask me, what do you think is the best way to start? You watched some tutorials into the first steps. You don't know how to continue. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. So if you go to the Godot docs, welcome into the channel, by the way. If you go to the Godot docs, there are some good tutorials here. There's like a 2D game and a 3D game tutorial. I know you said you've done some tutorials. I find doing the ones in here are nice. I kind of just read the engine docs, so that's kind of my thing. There's also some other things. Brackies has some good Godot. Tutorials. So Brackies, if you were familiar, they used to do a lot of Unity tutorials. They've been making Godot tutorials. So the Brackies page. As far as what to do once you get past that, I think what you should look at doing are some just game jams. There are lots of game jams. Oh my god, holy flashbang Batman. How is this not on? Sorry about that. Go find a game jam. Here are all the game jams currently going and or starting soon on itch.io. itch.io/jams. Find a game jam. Make a game in a few days. Join a team. Do something small. Get comfortable with the engine. Try some stuff out. Don't get bogged down in like making your, perfect dream game or whatever right off the bat. Just try some stuff out. Ooh, Game Boy Pixel Art Jam 2025. That sounds fun. Is this just for artists? Oh yeah, sick. Oh, that sounds kind of fun. Look at me, I'm just looking for jams. That sounds like a fun thing to do. I would get crushed because I'm not like a #real artist. All right, we're not looking at the list of jams. Sci-fi derelict jam. This sounds awesome. All right, the wood chipper's back on. If I start shouting, that's why. Oh, this isn't what I thought it would be, but that's fine. It's like a tabletop RPG jam. I was like, oh, let's just design sci-fi derelict stuff. That's totally my thing. But yeah, there's so many jams. So many jams. The Jamsepticeye just started, 6,000 people in it. I wouldn't start with that maybe, but yeah, just play around with it. Try to do something low risk, low stress. That's my advice. Work on little games. Arneo, you know what it's like. You avoid the big stuff by fiddling with some small things. You usually fiddle with art when you don't want to figure out a complicated coding thing. You did recently start the big process of making a selection targeting system. You haven't really gotten going yet. Yeah. Oh. Maybe I call it like intent or something like that. Intent is a weird one. It is like showing the blocks that you intend on selecting. So maybe that's an okay choice. You didn't think about the game jams. It seems extremely helpful. Thanks. No worries. Thank you for hopping in. Sorry, I would show you what we've got right now, but I've broken a little bit of it trying to refactor it. But yeah, we're here all the time. We're here. We try to be here 5 days a week if possible. Around this time, we're working on this game, our FTL-like kind of little spaceship management game. But yeah, good luck. Thanks for hopping in. Thanks for hanging out. We have a Discord if you want to share kind of your progress or ask questions. If you run into issues with the engine. But yeah, thanks for stopping by and asking a question. Appreciate that. So I've got this editor levels. Do I just want to retain an editor levels? Probably, because I could imagine a world where I run the editor on top of everything else. Like I'm in play mode and then I turn the editor on to make some adjustments and then I go back to play mode. Could imagine that being a thing. I honestly might just have a zoom in level and a zoom out level. Viewing level, and I distinguish them by that. Although maybe not. Although maybe. Actually, what size are the zoomed out pieces? I guess they are smaller. I guess that would just be the full versus half, maybe. So there might be like a distinction between the full and half of everything. So let's talk about that in those terms instead. Yeah, I don't know why I care about this right now. I do need... All I was trying to do was to change the way I registered nodes on my game class. And I got so sidetracked. Yarnold, you suggest making like a classic game from scratch as a tutorial and then just adding your own spin to it. That's a fine way to do it too. If your problem is I don't have ideas or I can't think of what someone to work on, that's not a bad way to start. Just make your own version of a classic game. Make a new version of Karateka. No, don't do that. But yeah, there's some... So I can't just add nodes to the list. I need to, like, get an ID and associate it with something. I have to try to do this in a better way. Because right now I'm just, like, grabbing a handful of nodes and putting them in this list of nodes. And they can just stay as nodes. In fact, can I just do it like that? Well, maybe not. There's a reason there's a list, and I don't remember the reason, but there's a reason. Oh yeah, because of this. Nodes, tiles.target node. I should probably call this target node ID or something like that. As soon as we introduce node IDs, which I think is what I want to do. Just something dumb and simple. Because yeah, I want to stop... One, I want to stop hard coding the get node stuff. I just want to make it an export that I plug in. Also, this board.call set board boundaries thing, this is not the best. But it's fine. Fox? Hey, talking about making a classic game. Where people are moving away from on-ready variables and moving to export instead. Why is that? Oh, I don't know. I'm just doing it because I don't want to have to maintain that stuff. I don't want to have to maintain the... Although, I don't know why. Because if it's on-ready, you need to know what the file path is, right? But now you don't need the file path anymore. You can just use the UUID. So now instead of like... So if I wanted this to be on ready, I can just drag it in here now. And now when I drag it in here and control drop it, well, okay. It uses the file path, but what I could do instead... I thought the control drop would do that. Maybe it's like control alt drop or something. Who knows? There's a way to do this that uses the UUID instead. Oh no, it's if you drop it from the file system. I think that's what it is. So if I like grab this and I drop it in here, it uses the UID. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to have to maintain the file paths to stuff. I don't want to have to know that. Which I know I could just access it as a unique name, but I've run into some limitations of that too recently. I.e. your camera 2D variable. You've seen a growing trend toward making that an export variable instead of an onReady. Yeah, I don't know if you can do that here. Oh no, yeah, I can because I do have a camera. Yeah, I think there's a good argument for doing that because it's like I could just make it an export variable. I'm actually tempted to do that now that you mentioned it. For some reason, I thought I was getting it dynamically, but I'm not. So, like, if you don't, I think it's just a simple principle of if you don't need to wait till the last second to get it, why would you wait till the last second to get it? But how are you doing, Fox? It's been a minute. We're having a very short and unproductive stream today. I'm kind of just fiddling with stuff. Trying to think about how I want to refer to my different masking overlays and everything. I might just call this like the input overlay. I don't know. And then this could be like selected mask. Input overlay, select overlay, editor blocks. And then I wanted another one. I wanted an invalid overlay, right? So I wanted to like all levels. I'm a little concerned with how I've set this up. Why does this work? Whole default.tres. Yeah, that's the wrong kind of deal here. Instance, all levels new. All levels new. Oh, no, you're all right. You're all the correct thing. All levels new. All level new. Deck layer.t. Oh, does your... This refers to the wrong thing. Alright. It looks like I haven't fully replaced the old tileset atlas infrastructure with the new one. Not in a way that matters, just in a way that's making the instanced scene tree or the scene instances a little weird. Fox. Hey, Altagon. How's it going? Thank you for the hydrate. Fox, you've watched hours of various vids on terrain gen, including No Man's Sky and Minecraft. The goal is to take the planetary data class and use that to form a 2D height map. Daunting, to say the least. No, that does sound super daunting. I have a friend who is working on a game where they're like, I want a procedural generation system that just makes a solar system that's believable and realistic. And I'm like, okay. Do you work at NASA? He almost does. He's actually a rocket engineer, but it's still like, okay, so we're going to procedurally generate a solar system. What you're describing isn't as daunting as that, but it sounds similar. Of like that, I'm just going to make a planet. Using, data about the planet in a way that looks correct. Because I assume you're talking about, it's about like you want to go from being able to be in the atmosphere to down on the planet's surface, and you want like a pretty seamless transition. Let me know if he succeeds. He'll steal it off of him. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So I could just call this the input overlay. I think that's fine because it's just an overlay that affects all inputs. Like anytime you're like mousing over something, there's just a little input overlay, and then the select overlay comes after that. I wanted an invalid blocks. So we wanted an editor blocks overlay, and then I wanted a invalid blocks overlay. I might call this invalid blocks. It is an overlay though, is the thing. So maybe what I should have is like block levels versus overlay level. I don't know. I don't know if I care. Synonyms for invalid. Hey, Diginanigans, how's it going? Baseless. Fox, various properties like gravity, temperature, weather, atmosphere thickness, and type, hydrosphere types, lithosphere elements, just to name a few. Yeah. Arneo, water on a planet is so cool when simulated. You saw a video on it recently. You wonder if you could link it. Yeah, if you find it, link it. Fox, you have 800 plus planets from the original game, but now it's taking that data and trying to come up with a way to form a terrain map from it that's pseudo-realistic. Yeah, that sounds incredibly challenging. Doable, but challenging. Shenanigans, you're not too bad. You're just working on trying to get another website wrapped up and deployed to staging. Hell yeah. We are not being productive today. We're kind of being unproductive. Ooh, absurd is kind of fun. But absurd is probably not the right word for what I'm describing. Alright, let's check this out. Arneo linked to planetary fluid sim. Whoa. This is pretty good fluid sim. And so now they're playing with gravity. Oh, cool. This is water under gravity. Well, technically, it's like just its own gravity in the other water. This is fun. I feel like everyone's done some gravity mechanics stuff. Oops. He slammed right into the planet and it flew off. Yeah. I feel like everyone's done some amount of this. I know I have. It's really fun, though. Any kind of... Oh, is this a little flow field we got going here? We're implementing tides and stuff. Sebastian Legge is a genius. His vids have been very inspirational. I can't say I've watched any of his vids. Oh, maybe I have. I recognize his icon with the dog. So yeah, this is like how the water is interesting. Fluid shell. I mean, this looks pretty, and I'm not trying to be productive today, so I am enjoying watching this. Pretty. Yeah, this looks crazy. Oh, is this gonna be the tides? Yeah. So we're like see the... Oh, Lord. This is like if the water literally leaped out of the earth and like flew into the moon or something. Oh, cool. It's like a accreting material. This is all super cool. Super cool. All right, so can I call it the valid overlay? Because it's like, it's only going to render when stuff is invalid, though. Has a moon sucking up the water just for fun. Yeah, that was fun. We can just call this the valid overlay. Even though all it's really doing is going to be rendering what's invalid, I think that's fine. So we have an overlay for the input, an overlay for the select, an overlay for what's valid or not. Right now, I'm just going to distinguish between the blocks, like the actual blocks, and the song gets blown out a little bit. I'm like looking at the waveform, and it's just like a bar. I don't understand this aesthetic of just like, I purposely want to blow out my audio. Weird. All right, we're going to call it that. I've decided I'll call it the valid overlay. I can always change the name later. So we're going to say... So I guess I have to remember the rest of these. Select editor. All right, so those are all set up to be export variables. There are blocks. Get rid of one of these. Input overlay. Select overlay. Valid overlay. All right, so that's all the stuff we need to fix there, except I need to hook these up. All right, let's rename the rest of these. Yeah, we have some errors. We'll call it editor blocks. This is a really stupid way to do this, but that's what we're doing. The palette I do need, huh? A reference to the block palette. What do we need the reference to the palette for? Here. So we're going to get rid of all this. Keep this initialization here. We do need to initialize this nodes thing. So we'll write a function here where we pull for whatever things we need to register for all these targets. We will register, I should call this something better. I should call this like tile map layer nodes. Is that how? Yeah, that's the only one we're referencing this way, right? Tile map layer nodes. Actually, if I know these are tile map layers, I could like unpack tile map data, call. I could even specify even more about them, but whatever, who cares? Do we have a custom class for our tile map layer things? Extends tile levels. The heck is tile levels? Why do we super all of this stuff? Why did I write this way? Unpack tile map data. Is there a reason why? Unpack tile map data. Can I just get rid of this part? Is this a is this a signal or something? No. Modulate levels, mod pan viewer up or down. Why does this have its own? Why does it have its own implementation of all of these? I kind of want to see if I can get rid of this. Well, for one thing, let's make sure that these are the same. I could easily have changed one of these and not noticed. Yeah, I don't understand that. I'm going to get rid of that. Oh, wait. Hull levels. Yeah, I don't know. That should work fine. Appreciate everyone who stopped by today. I know I'm not in like the best shape in terms of productivity, enthusiasm, and energy. But I appreciate you hanging out for a bit today. Anyway. don't know. I guess I just felt burned out on a lot of stuff recently. Well, I got a nice weekend coming up. I got a music festival, free music festival in the park. Very chill. I'll be doing that instead of Ludum Dare, unfortunately. Really wish they could schedule these events separately. I should probably reach out to the Ludum Dare organizers and be like, did you know the fall Ludum Dare is always the same weekend as the Hardly Strictly Bluegrass Festival, and it's just a problem. Can we get together and, like, not do that? Can we figure it out next year so this doesn't keep happening? That'd be great. All good just to enjoy hanging out on the stream. Sounds great. Enjoy the festival. Yeah, I will. Part of me wants to be doing a game jam, but the bigger part of me is like, no, just relax in the park for 3 days, 2.5 days, whatever. It does mean we won't have Friday or Saturday streams this week, which is important to keep in mind. So I know I haven't been streaming enough either, or working enough. I'm taking a lot of breaks. It's one of those things, like, if you ever have to choose between taking care of yourself and, you know, working harder, just take a break, step back. I'm going to call this the block palette. I'm going to more formally name this. Call this the game board. Call this tile levels, maybe. I don't seem to be referencing this tile levels thing at all, so I'm actually going to not. Probably have to re-hook these up now. Okay, so here's a file path here in the res. Is it not possible to do a UUID? I guess it's better that it's a file path. Well, it's not better that it's a file path, but I think it's okay that it's a file path. Default format .json. Yeah, so if I do this and I click and drag this over here, that's all I get. I don't get the UID. Is there a way to plug that in instead? I actually can't see the UID files. I can show it in File Manager. Oh, I still don't see any UUID files. What happened to all the UUID files, you know? Thought those got added to everything. I guess I can do this. If I grab this and do that. No, I don't get a... Huh. Oh, is it because it's not like a T-res or something? So if I grabbed like the T-res and I did that. Yeah, then I get the UID. And if I did this in here, I would probably also get a UID. Oh, I can't because it's Huh, weird. Okay. Whatever. How is any of this organized? I don't even know. We need to do a big cleanup of all the project files and the organization of stuff, especially stuff that we haven't touched in a long time. I'm also this weirdo that like alphabetizes their variable lists so I can actually find stuff. All right, I think all this is good. I think what we need to deal with now is the stuff here. And I think all this part is okay. What I need to do now is before we... I need to look at the world. I need to make like list buffer ID, buffer IDs, active buffer count. So is it likely that nodes will enter and exit? Because the reason I have the ID structure the way that I do for entities and for buffers is that entities and buffers can come into and out of existence. Is that going to happen to the nodes? I don't think so. I would still want that ID system to be on the world there. So here I could say something like, so we have the buffer stuff, we have an entity map. Could I also then have a private integer? I could say tile map layer. Maybe I would say tile map nodes count. I could have like a... The only thing I don't know... Well, I think we can just do the same kind of sparse mapping thing that we do for everything else. Here we would have a list. What would this be? This would be like a node. Do I actually want an ID object? We could say private, read only. I could probably do a simpler ID system. So when we create an entity ID, when we make a new, we increment the live entities count. The IDs. I think it's a little silly to do it this way, but I kind of still want to do it. But how does this help me? Because the thing I'm trying to clean up right now, which is annoying, is that I make this list of tile map layer nodes. I make this list of tile map layer nodes, and then I refer to it just by raw indexing. So I have like this list of, so I have like the editor blocks, I have a number of overlays. And so you got to tell the system which one you want. And right now we are just doing that by just raw indexing into this list. And I don't like that part. I would rather we like register one of these overlays. And then any system that needs to call a particular overlay can just say, give me the index for that overlay. But I realize that would be like, that's going to be like a dictionary. And like, how do I know? How do I know which one is which? Like, as far as like, I would need to say, give me the index for the selection overlay. And so what is that? Is that like a dictionary with like a string for a key and I have to punch in on the selection overlay? Or do I have like, I probably just have an enum that lists the register, or that lists all the overlays that we support, in which case why bother having like an ID system that's not just static? I could actually just have a dictionary here, maybe. And you just pass in which, when you call into the system or the tilemap data pack, you specify what your target node is, and you could specify it as like a name or something. I could also just not do any of this and just continue to hard code indexes. I just don't want to do that. That just seems like so bad. But I'm not quite sure what I want is a more permanent solution, so I'm kind of just waffling about it. That's okay, it's a waffle kind of day. Even though I had toast for breakfast. I probably should have had waffles instead. This tea is nice though. It's got lots of honey in it. Tastes real good. Soothing. Soothing to my tired throat here. I spend all day complaining. It requires a lot of tea. So I think we just grab the node, shove it into like a dictionary. I'm trying to think of a case where we like, yeah, I think this is different than the ECS world. Very different than the ECS world. I think what we can have here is we can have a public static dictionary. We'll just call it like nodes or something like that. They like public static read only dictionary. Be like string. Well, it probably shouldn't be a string. It should probably be an enum. So hold on a second. Let's make an enum. Probably let's just do it right here for now. Public enum. I don't know, like register. Or we could say nodes. Say nodes. We could have like, you know, game board. So game could equal 0. We could say board equals 1. We could say do we need to really record the game? Yeah, maybe actually. Then we could just go through. We could say like levels equals 2. And we could just keep doing this. So we could say like editor blocks. And then we could just register. Although in this case, just the value of the enum would be the index into the... Hey, that's not bad. Let's actually do it this way. Let's say tile map layer. Oh, let's say tile map nodes. You want tea? Yeah, go get some tea. Shenanigans, you think you need to grab some more coffee? It's just about 5 over there. That's tea time. We were hoping to get this wrapped up a few hours ago. Looks like it'll be a couple more. I think you need a caffeine break. It sounds like it. So what if we do it this way instead? Editor blocks. This is not incredible, but it's, I think, good enough for now. It's better than the system I had before. Let's call this the valid overlay. And so what we'll do here is we'll say, we can just have a list. We do have a list. Tile map layer nodes. Just call them tile map nodes. We know they're tile map layers. So we can just say tile map nodes equals. Well, anyway, we can actually do this. Oh, whatever. Oh, it's read only. What we could do is we could say dot add editor blocks. You're back? Did we go to space? No, but we're at least doing something. We're making a little progress. Welcome back. I just think of the meme of Tim Curry just being space. Oh, come on. Someone's got to have the animated version of that. They do on TikTok. Oh, wait. Here's Tenor. All right, I found it. I'm going to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space. Love Tim Curry so much. This is from Red Alert. Command and Conquer Red Alert. So good. It is the... Well, it's... I don't know if this statement's even true anymore, right? So good. All right, I'm done. But we're going to space. Whereas Farnsworth says, I don't want to live on this planet anymore. Cargo space. Arneo, you just came back from space where mouse positions don't match screen positions because resolutions. Gotta get some chicken. You go to sleep. Early wake up tomorrow. All right. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging out, Arneo. Cargo road. It does if it doesn't... Where we're going, we don't need roads. I think I did that. I think I correctly did the Doc Brown quote. I might have mixed it up with the I always mix it up with the Event Horizon quote, which is weird because they're very different, but you know. There's a number of the where we're going quotes. All right, this is a stupid thing to have spent any amount of time on, but I did it. So instead of int target node is going to be game.tilemapNodes. I think for now this is going to be okay. This will be int tiles.targetNode. Very stupid that we're doing it this way, but this is a nice compromise between, you know, good enough for now and the horrible thing that we had before. All we got to do here is fix all this target node stuff. So target node needs to be game.tilemapNodes. I could also call these like registered nodes or something, but let's keep it to tilemapNodes for now. Well, we could make this more general, huh? Maybe these should just be registered nodes. It could all just be game.nodes. Be like self equals 0. Board equals 1. Levels equals 2. Etc. Actually, this doesn't need to be done at ready time, huh? This can be done. Well, how should actually this be done? Might not actually have the nodes by this time. Is that okay? Will this work if I do it now? Like this? This. Editor blocks. Oh, these would need to be static. I mean, they could be static, but why would they be? Kind of going out of my way to make that read only. I don't really want to do an add. Maybe we just take the read only off this. So we can do this, and we can say game board. We can say board levels. I'm trying to add some more descriptive names to this stuff instead of just, I like my single word name things that we can't, and nobody can understand. All right. Word levels, editor, blocks, input overlay, select overlay, valid overlay. All right. I wanted to do it this way. Why does game board not have this problem? This one does. Yeah, why does this one not have? Oh, because I've set up here. What if I get rid of this reference? Yeah, okay. I kind of want to fix this in the file. I'm going to disable with the pragma in this file. I just don't want to be told about this. Why are you still bugging me about this? Oh, it's a possible no reference assignment. I also want to fix this with a pragma. Don't tell me about this stuff. All right, okay, so now we have all our tile map nodes. Well, they're not tile map nodes anymore, huh? They're just kind of nodes. All right, that's good. That makes me feel better. It's a small change, but I'll take it. I might move this to its own file, but right now the game file is not very big. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to change some. So we can just say game.nodes. I like that. I like that. We can register nodes. We should be able to know all of them in advance anyway, so it should not be a problem. I essentially needed to change every reference to target node, so we should probably just look for target node everywhere. Anywhere we say target node needs to change. Game nodes, target node. Oh, this file is broken. Game.nodes. Maybe that shouldn't be plural. But if I just write node, it's going to be confusing. And yet, I think it's consistent to name this singular, because it's not a flag. Oh, oh, uh-oh. Okay, that went farther than I thought it would. Oh, it's because it's... I see, I see. Yeah, maybe that was a mistake. I'm gonna change that. that was a mistake. It's funny. All right, let's change this and then just make sure we didn't break everything. And then I think we'll be happy. I'm snoozing the ads because I don't want to run another ad break. The song reminds me of that Stardew Valley song. The mermaid song. So instead of 1, we're going to say game.nodes.editor blocks. Here we're going to say game.nodes.input overlay. And then here we're going to say game.nodes.select overlay. Well, at least now I can kind of tell what overlay we're trying to draw. That's good. Arguably, this should be like at the front, but I'm not going to worry about it. Front or the back? I think the back is fine. All right, let's see. None of the exports are probably hooked up correctly, and it's going to crash immediately. Yep. Oh wait, this function wasn't here. Okay, I think I see. I think I see why we had that duplicated. Let me make sure that. Oh, yeah. Let me connect all these assignments because that could actually be the problem here. Block palette. Is the block palette the scroll container? Yeah. Game board levels, editor blocks, input overlay, select overlay, valid overlay. Hey, Rick, yeah, you're going to just hang out here a little bit? No worries. We're probably going to wrap it up soon. So a little bit is all you're going to get. But thank you for popping in. How have you been? All right. I think that'll work now. I'm tired. You've been working all day. Fair. Hopefully you're done soon. If not already. Okay, it looks like everything was working fine. Okay, it looks like our refactors caused no permanent issues. I know this was a very low-key day. We really didn't get much done, but, you know, we reorganized something. I feel better about it. We fixed a few bugs. I don't know how much more you could ask for, honestly. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up before I have to use my last ad skip. Oh, the song is a banger, if I remember it correctly. Also kind of reminds me of... this one reminds me of a Sea of Stars song a little bit. Alright, everything's looking good. I think we're going to wrap it up. And we'll pick things back up tomorrow. Appreciate everyone hanging out over such a short stream, where I really didn't feel like getting anything done. But I really appreciate everyone hanging out here. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And I will see y'all next time. Bye. Thank you for hanging out, Rick. Yeah. Sorry you missed the stream. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take it easy.